Hello, hello,
Hello.
welcome.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome back. So before we had Ereb Altor and we spoke about Eldens Boning, and tonight we are going to have again a Viking paganmetal night, as today we are going to speak about their new release, Vargtimmen. And welcome, Matt and Tord. And for those who missed the interviews, could you briefly introduce yourself and Ereb Altor?
Well, he is Tord, and I am Mats. And we play in Ereb Altor. Drummer. This is a drummer and sound engineer. This is the songwriter and lead vocalist and lead guitarist.
Cool.
And we play Scandinavian metal.
Amazing. That's very third. Cool.
Nice. So, guys, I don't know, maybe Mats, tell me, the name of the album is The Hour of the Wolf, right?
Yeah, it is. If you translate it into English.
How you pronounce
It's pronounced Vargtimman. It's an old Swedish expression that comes from Ingmar Bergman. From the beginning, it's the last hour in one's life.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with wolves. It's the hour just before dawn when the spiritual forces are as strong as ever, and it's the hour when most people dies. It's a time of reflection and a time to look back on your life just before you have to check into the land of the dead.
Okay. Yes, because I had the question, what does the wolf symbolize in Norse mythology?
No, it has actually nothing to do with Norse mythology this time. We have some extent. Some of the songs are dealing with such subjects, but the title track is about the last hour in one's life.
Okay, very good.
And you can see it on the front cover as well. That was beautifully done by Tumarum of Christine Linde.
Great stuff. So, how do you think Vargtimmen is a continuation to Eldens Boning, and things you approved and things you have done differently? Any things you wish you had done in this album? A difficult question for the beginning.
It's not that difficult because Eldens Boning was actually the songs that didn't fit the album. So we released the I can say the waste, but what didn't fit in the album we released first, and then we released the album.
It's the same recording session.
It's the same recording session. The same. Yeah.
We recorded 12 songs, and 8 of them come on the album, and 4 of them was on the EP.
Yeah, I remember something, but that means you were already done in May with this album.
No, long before.
Oh, yeah.
The EP was released in May. I think we were done in the beginning of, was it 2020?
I don't know.
It's a long time.
Last 2 years are kind of
lost the time.
Walking in the mist, you know.
Yeah.
So how was it for you then? Let's change this question a bit. How was it for you to holding this Vargtimmen album for such a long time somewhere on yourself, waiting for a release?
It's actually almost the same thing every time, but it's even a little bit worse now because the waiting time on the vinyl factories are 9 months at the moment. So if you
Whoa.
you do a recording and now it's finished, you still have to wait 9 months before it to be pressed on vinyl. So it's always like a year ahead, a year after. It's all the same for everyone.
That's crazy. And let's recap. What's basically the waste Vargtimmen and what's Eldens Boning? So how did you make the split for everyone that missed this split?
We wanted to make an album that hold together in a different way than we have done previous. So we chose 8 songs that we really thought could be one piece, and selected them for the album. And they, on an EP you can be more like experimental because it's a in between release with only 4 songs. You can have 4 very diverse songs. It doesn't matter on an EP in the same way as an album. You want it to be like a piece that holds together in a different way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So basically summarizing, Eldens Boning is the experimental one and Vargtimmen is one piece album.
Yeah, you can put it like that.
Yeah, I can put it there. We had a discussion, of course. We recorded it first, all the songs, before we chose what songs would, fit together.
Okay.
So it's always a discussion, So.
And now you're mentioning what fitted together in Vargtimmen.
Yeah, those songs fit together, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, you still have the diversity, I think, but but somehow the songs hold together in a better way. If you look at
it's a flow.
It's a flow.
It's a flow
From the beginning to the end. I think it has a special flow. It's something that we maybe not have managed to do before. If you look on the past albums, they may have been a bit more shattered somehow, and I think we kind of made a better impact on this album.
Thank you.
Nice. So guys, could you find any similarities between the Vargtimmen and with previous albums, and what are these
similarities?
Yeah.
What are the similarities with the older albums?
I think
if
it has a lot of similarities, but for me, this album might be more related to maybe Ulven or something like that, because it's a little bit more epic and the darkness. It's a darker album than the previous ones, but it still holds the elements of Ereb Altor and the sound we have developed over the years, and I think we have some new elements coming in as well, but it still sounds very much like an Ereb Altor album. It has our trademark on it.
Nice.
And you mentioned elements, so what elements are different then from the previous one?
We implemented a new instrument, for instance, with a Hammond organ on this one, which we haven't used before, and I think I worked a little bit more with the dissonant chords, overtones and stuff like that, which has not been very. I don't have used it that much before, and I don't know. You always come up with new ideas and try new stuff, and as we said in the previous interview, we have our own studio, and we very much with the material and try things in every fucking way you can, and twist and turn on every little piece. So it's always something new coming in.
And these days, to have your own studio Apocalypse, right?
Yeah. And when it comes to the production as well, I think this one has everything acoustic, and we didn't have.
Yeah, the drums have no, samples or anything. It's actually acoustic. All the drums are acoustic, and we didn't cut everything like a lot of bands do. All the drums and the guitars, everything is cut and they quantize it, and everything is exact. It's more natural and
maybe more natural than we have done as well previously. So it's,
maybe a bit,
we want to have a natural sound.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to say to have studio these days is very good because like COVID days, you save time, you save money, you do faster.
You save a lot of money.
You don't save time.
No, you don't save time, but you save a lot of money.
We pay with a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
You save some time. Maybe if you record, if you have to go somewhere in another country.
If we have to go somewhere, you record an album in like 1 or 2 weeks. But we record during 1 year, so it takes a lot of time instead.
But you save money for sure.
Money is but we pay with time. Time is also money in some.
Yeah.
Back to Vargtimmen about the album. Well, it was like it's very coherent because it's like fitting together. But I'm wondering if you can tell us more why it's regarded as the best composed and therefore mature Ereb album in your already impressive career. And what do you think that really stands out in the way that this album was composed to the previous albums?
I don't think we have worked on another album the way we did this time.
Okay.
It took a lot of time.
It took a lot of time with just the working through the song structures and everything. So we worked hard with that part.
Are you aware it was a pandemic going on?
Yeah, and a lot of time.
It means a lot of time.
Yeah, it means a lot of time.
Yeah.
So there was much more dedication, but you mentioned something about the strong structure. So how do you think you paid more attention, detail to this song structure of this album?
Well, we also, in some way, get more and more experienced. We always learn something when we record an album, and we learn what parts we can do better the next time. And I start to see flaws on this album, which going to be corrected on the future album. Yeah. So you always learn something, and it's supposed to get better and better, I suppose.
Aging like fine wine, but then the learning process. So what did you learn in the other album that you took in this album?
What we have learned? It's a lot of things.
It's hard to put your finger on it.
No, it's... you have to pay attention to small details. It's very important to go back and forth and figure out how to make these small details work. Because if you fix all the small details, even if one detail doesn't matter, but if you do them all, it actually make a big difference in the end. Yeah. And you learn tricks and stuff like that, how to form a composition into a song that follows a red line throughout the composition. And when you've done, I think this is our 8th album, you kind of learn how to follow a red line all through an album. I think maybe we're more mature and we've learned a lot from previous mistakes, but I can't really pinpoint on something specific.
It's more sophisticated. It's like there is a bit more flow in this album than the previous one for me, and it's like the music is like the atmosphere is a bit deeper. But then I'm wondering, you said you wish like you are taking from this album learning points as well. So what do you wish you had done better, or what are you going to do better next time?
I'm gonna sing better on next album.
We are holding you to that.
You always find some things you wish you've done better and stuff. Both for me, both with the drum, the playing, and and with the mixing and stuff like that.
Everything, yeah.
And of course, the more you hear the album, the more you find, maybe we should have shortened a part of the song that sounds like this. Maybe it should be this long, and maybe it should be even longer. It's
shorter
stuff like that, or shorter, longer, stuff like that. We should have a longer intro or something like that.
And
this time, actually, we did a pretty short intro of the album.
Okay.
Tekken, the previous album
almost every album
that was
long.
pretty long intro and stuff, and this time we did a short one. That was we wanted to try something new.
I liked the intro I liked the intro this time much more because it was much more atmospheric, but maybe it would be nicer a bit longer in the boat sailing to the Viking.
But it fitted the song. It fitted I Have the Sky is the first song, and it's kind of the intro on the song, and it's short and but it's the album starts faster, so.
Very good song.
One thing I miss a little bit is there are almost no guitar solos on our new album. It's actually just one on the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very common for us. I don't know why. We packed the album full of other stuff instead. So it's a difference between the new album and the previous ones. There are almost no guitar solos.
Yeah.
No showing off.
Yeah.
Yes. And this time you said you put the Hammond organ you never played before, right?
We actually have on I Have the Sky. We have Lars from Borknagar playing both the Hammond and the Mellotron keys. Yeah.
Do you think in the future album you will put some more instruments?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm always willing to try new.
I think violin would be nice.
Violin.
Violin. We had a violin on the EP, but maybe we should probably use it.
You should try.
We intended to use violin a little bit on the album as well, but in the end it never happened.
No.
With the same guy that played on the EP.
Yeah, I think would be great to the album.
Yeah.
Maybe cellos?
If cellos is good. If you use them correctly and on the right places, they can actually make a lot of difference.
Yeah, it can make a difference. But you don't want to be this. You don't want to get too close to the kind of real folk metal.
Yes.
Because we don't want to be too close to folk metal because we're no one of us really.
You could say that the kids
too much.
Yeah, like Kroha. Cool. So before you start to say something about the artwork cover, so now the question: can you give us more details about the artwork cover? What you want to express from this cover?
It's Vargtimmen. You can.
Yeah, it's actually this is the girlfriend of our bassist Mikael, Tomaruma Christine Linde, that made the cover, and she kind of got free hands. I told her about the idea with the title track. It's the last hour in life, and you go to the land of the dead. So she did an image where death in person stands in the boat, taking an old man on his final journey. And I think the atmosphere and in this artwork is very fitting for us, and it has kind of a Theodor Kittelsen vibe almost on it. If you know the Danish, or it's Norwegian maybe.
I'm not sure.
It's a Norwegian, yeah.
Norwegian artist, yeah.
That made Bursum covers, for instance. If you know that. If you are allowed to say Bursum, I don't know.
But yes, the artwork is very good.
But, I like the kind of, it has an old touch of.
And fitting the album for sure.
I felt like I was standing in this ship and I was entering like this.
The land of the dead. Are you going to die?
No, I'm not going to die, but like the music it's a bit dark, a bit grim, but I think it fits the Viking pagan metal. And I mean, that was me entering this music in the ship. I'm not dead. I don't think so.
If you look in the water, you can see this souls of dead people in the water. If you look
Amazing.
closely on the cover.
I'm going to stare at it tonight.
Cool.
Eldens Boning had quite a lot of storytelling. I remember the story about the Mad King, so I was wondering any stories that are in Vargtimmen that you would like to share with us?
Well, it's not like a concept album or something with a long story on it. It's different stories, but it deals with a lot of different subjects. But for instance, we have Nere i Mörkret. It's about the witch burnings in Sweden.